What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Clubs. This is episode 77. I'm Dylan alongside Mila and Grant as always. I'm a lot chippier and happier than I probably should be after a loss, but we'll get into all of that a little later. What do we have in store for this episode? Chelsea versus Newcastle, as Chelsea consistently are inconsistent, and we'll talk a little more about that fluctuation. We'll then get into Manchester City versus West Ham, as Grant was telling us, is like the only team in the Premier League that constantly looks like they're playing free-flowing footy at all times. We'll talk about them and their ascension as they get closer and closer to Arsenal at the top. And then we'll talk about the Manchester United versus Villa game, where I think the better team lost, but it doesn't really matter because you dropped 3 points. United are fucked. Like we'll totally get into that and how the hell potentially Ruben Amorim is going to earn his fucking stock with United, as Bruno Fernandes is out, and it sounds like it's going to be a longer injury. Can't wait to talk about all that, but I guess we'll just kick on into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Clubs. I'm Dylan. They just got punched in the mouth. They didn't even know how to react.
That is one Derby Diamond.
I'm Mila. Do we want to do a little prediction? That was the last time they showed initiative to go get a fucking player.
City is still alive here. Balotelli. Aguero.
I'm Grant. They're talking a lot about you 15. How will you respond 15?
We downgraded from Peppa. Do you know how absurd that is?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day.
Alrighty. This was a big week because Mila got a predicky, and every time we get a predicky, we have to celebrate it. It is a 2-1 win for Villa. That is what Mila predicted. Got it dead on the nose. His favorite player, Matty Cash, got him that. But in general, big week for both of you because I only got one correct scoreline, and you guys both got the draw for Chelsea and Newcastle dead on.
Oh yeah, we did.
Closer. That's a crazy shout. You got. How many times has that game ended in a draw? It feels like a lot. I probably should have guessed a draw as well. Whatever. Stupid. Congrats, Mila. 4 predickies, back in the lead for the predicky counter. And that's all that really matters. That's all that really matters at the end of the day for that particular one. Alrighty, plug. 123 subscribers. We put out stuff on our social medias pretty much every single day, so go and follow us at Instagram, X, TikTok, the whole works. But more importantly, go and follow us and subscribe here. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that fun jazz. I don't really know how to plug correctly anymore, so I'm not gonna do it. Let's jump into the madness that was this weekend. Grant, Chelsea 2, Newcastle 2.
Yeah, tale of two halves, the easiest way to put it. Early wake-up call for us here on the West Coast. That first half was abysmal. I think it's up there for one of the worst halves I've seen from us this year. Concede 2, again, in the nature of these goals that we concede are almost comical. Wesley Fofana driving the ball into midfield, gets it taken off of him. Sanchez ends up making a really nice save, and then Chalobah slips on the clearance, and Voltemata has an open goal to tap it into. Second phase of a set piece for the second goal, and we couldn't connect 2 passes for a majority of the first half. It really took us until maybe like 5 minutes left to really start trying to play instead of just hoofing the ball away, hoping we could win the second balls. We just weren't really stuck in winning those duels. And against Newcastle at St. James Park, you have to win those physical duels. And then individual quality in the second half. I mean, again, I'm sure the manager had some words to say. Cucurella gets a little more forward in the second half, but completely different game. We're all over them. It felt like it could have been 5-2. Newcastle still had some chances. Harvey Barnes missed a big one late, but we were absolutely all over them in the second half, which just made it even more frustrating, the fact that we weren't able to get all 3 points. I came into it expecting a draw. We leave with a draw, but again, in the nature of these performances, when you see what your team's capable of and then what they're not so capable of for a full 90 minutes, it makes it very frustrating. I feel like individual quality brings us back into that game. I think Caicedo had another monster game. Good to see him back in the Prem after the suspension. Reece James, that free kick. I mean, what can't the guy do? I feel like I wax lyrical with him very often, as it rightfully needs to be done. Yeah, and then we got let down in other areas. What would you guys see in terms of that, especially in the second half?
It's so funny if you had gone back, and you should go back and watch our preview because it outlined the game perfectly. Like everything that we said in the preview happened. It was like, oh, okay, like Newcastle, their best way of winning is if Voltamata has a good game. He has 2 goals. We talked about Chelsea having to play good through like Caicedo and Reece James, and guess what? Those were like the 2 best players that Chelsea had in the match. So it's like, maybe it's funny because we're going to talk about the consistency portion, but like everything that I've seen from both teams this year was present in 2 different halves. And like you said, it was a tale of 2 halves. I don't know what you saw from it, Mila.
I think the biggest thing that stuck out to me was probably the matchup between Cucurella and Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy had a field day on Cucurella, in my opinion. Especially in the first half, he looked overwhelmed, not calm, just booting the ball out, like Grant was saying, like the rest of the team was doing. But I think a lot of that came from that left back position. And then as the game goes on, he goes a little more forward. But I still think defensively, Jacob Murphy just had his way with him.
Yeah. That's
not things I thought I'd ever be saying about Jacob Murphy. Also, I think that's more so why it's a little bit crazier. He's just he's failing himself lately. Last year and a half.
I mean, Dylan called out João Pedro. I think he had a much better performance. He looked a lot more like a 9. He played like a 9, taking shots, and especially the goal, very well taken. Just all on his own. Sanchez again, who's been such a consistent player in this team now. Getting us going quickly after claiming a cross and getting us going, and that great ball out. João Pedro able to take it down, spin off. Obviously, Thiaw slips, very fortunate, but calm, composed finish. That's the type of stuff we need.
I think. Sorry, I think that's just a perfect. That goal was just a perfect example of what you get with him, because that head flick, he tried that form 5 times earlier in the game. When we were like, "What the fuck are you doing, you fucking bozo?" And then, of course, if it comes off one time and it gets the goal out of it, then who cares about the other 4 that happened? But it's just finding that successful attempt at these flicks and tricks that he needs to get going more often. I think
and he's getting rid of the ball. He was getting rid of the ball in this game too. He wasn't holding on to it too long, so it was a lot more effective. Needs to continue that because Palmer didn't have a great game. Expected him to get hooked, obviously, at some point. I didn't think he'd play a full 90, but I even at the time when he came off, made sense. He didn't really have it on the day, but our wide men in particular, Gittins didn't even make the squad. Estevao had a knock, didn't make the squad as well. I think it's a good transition to kind of the overarching topic. It really matches it, but chances came to them left and right in the second half. Garnacho, again, what we praise with him, what we know about him, repeatable actions. He's going to continuously go at his man. Pedro Neto, again, he's come up at huge for us throughout the season as well, but we know what these guys are. We didn't really talk about it because, again, it was a cup game middle of the week, but these guys come on in the second half and Garnacho gets 2 goals, Neto gets a goal. We beat League One Cardiff. Oh, okay, that gives you optimism going into the weekend. Let's see what we have. And Dylan, you know the Garnacho cycle all too well. We were a little more surprised maybe just because we hadn't seen it enough yet. He was very inconsistent with that final shot, whether it was on the left foot, putting it over the bar, or tame on his right foot. And Pedro Neto, like we've seen very often with him, just not getting his head up, not making the right decision. Multiple times we have a transition, we have a dangerous attack going forward on the counter, and he kills them, whether it's a bad pass or holds on to it too long. Again, when I said we could have won the game 5-2, I saw a tweet about it, and I don't think Semenyo is the answer to Chelsea's problems by any means. Him in any of those situations where the wingers are isolated and they have options to attack either side, shot, pass, I think we have a very different outcome. But like we've been talking about, like the noise is with Chelsea right now in terms of this ongoing battle with the board versus the manager, look what's at the disposal, right? No one was clamoring for a Garnacho signing other than Fabrizio Romano for Chelsea, but we all knew it was inevitable. And I'm sure you guys saw it as well. Like, yeah, of course they're going to sign him. He's 20 years old, 21 years old. He's got upside. He's got potential. Like I keep saying, at what point do we say, bin the potential, we have enough, let's supplement that with players who are ready to win now? And again, we're just not there. That is where we are. And Yeah, Maresca is not the problem. I don't even blame the players. It's not Garnacho's fault. It's not Gitten's fault. These guys are good young players. If they were playing somewhere week in, week out, able to develop the lights not on them every game, every minute, yeah, these are talented young players. But again, the expectation at this team, especially after what we accomplished, they should be winning. They don't have time to ease in, take it easy. They're young. So it's just a problem we've given ourselves.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a couple of different ways that you can go at this particular topic, and I'm going to go in the perspective of the manager in the sense of how many different starting 11s have we seen Chelsea put out this season? A lot.
I'm sure
right?
I think we've made the most changes. That much I'm pretty sure right now.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest difference for me in particular between where Chelsea are at compared to like where a City and an Arsenal and even a Villa to a certain extent are at, is like you can't have that much chop and change throughout a Premier League calendar and have that be sustainable throughout the calendar. And that's why it's been so inconsistent. And that's not on Maresca because he hasn't had players available. Like it's a mix of everything, right? Like you've had the injuries, you've had the suspensions, you've had the red cards. You don't have the squad depth to just to put out a lineup every single week. Like to your point, like Garnacho's a perfect example. Like coming off the bench, he's great. When he starts, he's not. And then you're giving him chances. It's this constant give and take. And I just don't know how you can be consistently great if you're constantly making that many changes over the course of a calendar year in the Premier League. Like in UCL, it might make sense. Like that's why we've all said like the Champions League makes a lot more sense for Chelsea this season. But when we look at the Prem, we're no longer getting that consistency out of Chelsea. And in this match in particular, literally two different teams almost felt like throughout the course of the game.
Yeah. I mean, it like you just said with Caicedo and James being the real like sort of spearheads in that comeback, it's world-class quality right there, right? Versus what you're supplemented with, which a guy like João Pedro, some days he's on it. He was on it against Newcastle. Other days he's not. Garnacho Neto, it's the same exact thing. Estevao, right now at 18 years old, I would argue it's the same thing as well. One day you're going to get what he did against Barcelona. Another time he might kick out and be hooked at halftime, right? Like that can happen. We're waiting on Quenda next year. It's the same thing. We don't have a guy like, again, I'm just going to use him for his name, even though he's probably going to one of your teams, Semenyo. You know exactly what's going on there. He's 25 years old. Like that type of profile. Again, we saw what Morgan Rogers did today. We'll get into that later. He was on the list. Guys like that who are ready to go now. And we don't have that. These world-class talents are supplemented with guys who one week are going to look fantastic, another week, that's why it's an 8-year contract. He's on the first year. He's going to develop. He'll be at his peak in the fourth year of his contract. Like it's the fourth year of this project. At what point? At what point do we change this? It's tough, man.
It is tough. I don't know. It's the answer. Mila's been almost arguing on behalf of Chelsea for like the past like 3 weeks on the idea of like if you're good enough, you make these decisions. And I think he's just like barking up the argument that you've been trying to say.
I like having rivals, and I think to a certain extent that's where I'm a little different. Where other fans might be like, "Oh, I hope they fucking die, and I hope they get relegated." Like the footy's not fun without rivalries. That's like part of one of the best things about the sport. And if Chelsea's supposed to be competing for stuff, this business plan makes no sense. We're all business majors also. If we really want to get into it from a business standpoint, it all makes fucking sense to us. We know what they're doing. But this is not just a business. It's a whole culture. And there's legacy and history behind that club that you can't operate it just like any other business. You have to operate it like Chelsea Football Club, and that seems to be going in the wrong direction, which I'm sure is fucking frustrating for the Chelsea fans.
And I can't get my head around the consistent sort of scapegoating. And again, I'm not a fan of speaking out and airing out the dirty laundry like when we talked about with the Salah situation, but at what point can he defend himself and say, like, look what I'm working with? The directors seem to think it's, we took a chance on you. Like, again, in my eyes, we have won majors in spite of the way the squad is being built. The squad is being built on a timeline, and the manager is advancing that timeline by developing these young players, making them better, and he's not being supplemented to match that timeline. They're on two completely different timelines. This guy's ready to compete, and like you said, Mila, it's a business, it's a project. Like, we have Omega coming in next summer, Quenda's coming in next summer, guys are coming back from Strasbourg on loan. Like, we're taking care of these young players. That's their priority. And we have some really good young players, but I want points. I want trophies. And I think we're right there. We're on the precipice of that. Come on, man. We need to reevaluate them at the end of the season, not give them extensions. I'm losing it.
The way that Chelsea is currently constructed is you guys are built for tournaments in June.
Yeah.
Nobody fucking plays in June. This one competition was played in June. Like, that's not how that should work. Chelsea should not be a club that's playing for things in the summer. Should be playing for trophies at the beginning and the middle of seasons, and they're currently not constructed to do so. That's just the truth.
I think
we knew this.
Process
this isn't a new development.
We've been small brain footy perspective is just like, oh, we'll stockpile all the talent now, and in a couple years, 5 to 10 years, we'll have the best team by far in Europe. And that's all fine and dandy when you think about it like that. But you also have to remember that trophies and winning keep players at the club. These guys, if they're just being used to develop, if this is just a big fucking training camp for them, they'll go find trophies elsewhere. And you're not going to hold on to these players, especially when they have these like favorable contracts for you. You're just going to sell them off. So I mean, I think I get what they're trying to do, but it's just like the trigger needs to be pulled, like you were saying. I think it's time to just, we have enough stocks, and like go use the money a little bit. Go invest in your happiness rather than your future.
So to round out this conversation, because we can continue to have the same conversation we've had for 3 straight weeks, which is about the sporting directors and how they need to fucking figure it out. I do want to go tactically and with the manager, right? Like, part of it is like Chelsea weren't consistent on the day, right? So how does Maresca find consistency throughout a full 90? Because this team, even with the limitations, should still be able to be consistent for at least a majority of a match.
No, yeah, no doubt. And I think when you look at, I hate to bring it back to how the squad was constructed, but in this type of game last year, we saw Caicedo and Lavia next to each other. That would work wonders. Enzo was the odd man out. Reece James, who again, we saw the levels he had in that day, both in the middle and playing right back. Reece James is playing in the midfield because we do not have a reliable partner next to Caicedo for a game where you need to be bruising in the middle. And Enzo Fernandez, we just know that's not his game. So I think this was one of the first lineups where we all saw it, like, yep, it picked itself. It's the first time in a while that it's picked itself. The Chalobah-Fofana pairings looked great. Reece James is Reece James. Cucurella is going to play every game. João Pedro play up top, right? Like, I feel like it kind of picks itself, right? We see that 3-2-5 shape. I think it's really, it just comes down to those guys in between the lines and being able to play in between the lines, right? Having a guy like Caicedo, we saw it against Newcastle, having the boldness to want the ball, to try and take players on the half turn and make things happen. Palmer in between the lines, and our wingers, they need to take their men on when they have space, when it's a 1v1, when they have that time. It needs to be taken advantage of. I think he's been setting up pretty good. It's just, again, we question the subs. Again, throughout the season, he's had question marks pop up there, no doubt. But given who's available right now, I do feel like it kind of picks itself.
Yeah. This is unfortunately a problem that's only going to get worse as we get into January, just with the insane fixture list that Chelsea's got coming up.
You're one injury away.
How isn't it like nine games in January?
9 in January, yeah.
Yeah, that's absurd. That's absurd, but it's going to get absurd for every team.
But the window will be open and they can buy 25, 18-year-olds.
For next year, not for this year.
They're going to be the
no. You the 6 of them will be coming in 3 years.
Half Strasbourg, half Chelsea. Fabrizio, here we go. That's what it's going to be. It's
the Blue Co have signed.
It's too much, man.
It is too much. All right, let's transition to the one team that's actually been consistently good for like 14 weeks. It's every season. Every season this happens, Mila.
They've been good. I'll go into it after we talk about this game, but I'd say the last 5 games we've been consistent. Yeah, 3-0 over West Ham though. I genuinely think I should have had 2 predickies on the weekend. I think we should have won this game 6-0. And there's part of what I saw that I really liked, and also little things that I could take from those things that I didn't like. But just in terms of this game, those guys were having fun. They were having a blast. Everyone had a smile on their face. They were doing flicks and tricks everywhere throughout the park. And I think some of that might piss off Pep. But if they have joy in their footy, I don't care. Because I think we talked about it plenty last year on the pod. But they were joyless last year. It was so hard to watch. Every fucking game, terrible to watch, win or lose or draw, like just awful. And now, like we've described it, it's free flowing. We really get to see something special with Cherokee and Foden back to his best. Adding Reinders into that mix, who seems to be understanding his role and just how he can affect the game it's art in attacking footy form. And I think, as we touched on in the intro, like it's refreshing to see in a league that's gone towards the long throws and the corner kicks and not many goals from open play, for one team to be at the top of the goal scoring list, sticking to that attacking type of football, that I think is really refreshing just as a neutral or as a fan of the sport. And it shows that you don't have to all buy into one way. There's not one way to play this sport. There's many ways to play this sport. And as long as you can adjust and make the proper adjustments, you get results like this, where Holland's bagging too. And Reinders, I think he's arrived. I think I got I jumped the gun a little too early with him after the Wolves game. But if I could take it back and do that now and put all the prop on him now, then I would. He's really special.
I think you made a good point there, Mila. Sorry to
No, good.
You can play either way. Because I think when we've been talking about City a lot, the main questions is like, who are going to be the attackers to supplement Holland and what he does. And when I saw the lineup, I mean, Cherokee, Foden as wingers, no one's in theory holding that width, right? But I mean, I'm just looking at the average position maps, and like you said, Nico O'Reilly's had that good dynamic with Doku on that side, and I think him and Foden looks like they were able to replicate that in terms of knowing what spaces to pick up. And then Cherokee and Reinders 1-2 combo. I mean, that's especially with Nunes, just I'm sure bombing up and down, creating more space. Yeah, it's beautiful to see. Like you said, as a neutral, Mila, it is satisfying to watch. You do have to tip your cap to teams that play that way. I think Leeds this past weekend scored 4 goals from dead ball situations. Fair play. Like, that's what you got to do to win games in this league, by all means. But I do think there's something about it to where you have pretty much whatever you want, a full war chest of assets. Yeah, go play nice, right? Make it nice on the eye, right? Can you at least try that for me? So it is nice in a sense to be able to watch City play this way. And it's totally not because it's a 2-horse race and I'm rooting against 1 horse. It has nothing to do with that.
Okay, to be honest, like, if they played this, not even this, if they played their old footy, I won't even bring my club into it. And for this specific thing that we're about to talk about, little segue, sidebar, if they played their old footy and we're doing what they're doing, I think there would be a lot less complaints.
Who's they, Mila, to specify?
The other team in the 2-horse race. It was free flowing. It was fun, and it got people out of their seats. This is like what the fuck? What did I just watch with that Arsenal Everton game? And then the own goals, and then you blow it to Villa, and like this is the leading horse. I don't know, disappointing, but we'll definitely go into that with fact when he comes back on at some point.
You know what? I don't do this often. So this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity here for someone to clip me here. But there's only 2 teams in the league that I think play free flowing footy and actively try to win every match. And that's Liverpool and that's Manchester City. And the way that they go about matches. Now, the main difference is City controls matches, whereas Liverpool does not control matches. That's their biggest difference right now. Right? But it is visually appealing on the eyes. The interplay between like Foden and Cherky and now even Holland, like with the 1 and 2 touch passing, like every single goal that came from this match was 1 and 2 touch passing. Like, yes, a couple of lucky bounces, but in general, I don't think there's another team on planet Earth that can play the way that City play. And I don't know if that's like a Pep Guardiola specific thing or it's just the players that City have in this system, but it's genuinely like tiki-taka to the max. Like if you were to take fucking a book about tiki-taka, like this is what they're doing currently, and it looks amazing. If I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be shitting my fucking pants. I'd be shitting my pants.
I think PSG maybe too. You could throw in the conversation.
Yep.
I know there's the argument about who they're playing, but in terms of the way they play, I think that's definitely what they're trying to do as well. But
that's a great argument. Yeah,
Bayern maybe.
Except for the rest of their starters in the fucking home league.
Bayern are doing a whole different thing. I wish that we could do a whole segment on Bayern. Like Company and what he's doing is like a whole different planet of attacking football, but like they're so much better than everyone else in their league. They can get away with that.
Right.
I think he's playing like a 2-2-8. Like I don't even he's getting extra players on the pitch.
They're wild. They're wild. But yeah, I think City. So you think Reinders is going to be playing in that midfield? Is that, can he do that with Foden? Like, how are they setting up? I think because it looks like Cherky's got that right wing position sort of locked up.
Yeah, locked up for at least starting. Yeah, for sure. Semenyo, if he comes in, makes it a much more of a conversation, especially with the Doku injury, but that should only be 3 weeks. And I guess we have Savio, but he's not getting into the team over Cherky. Cherky is literally one of the best in the league right now, and Savio is starting to get back to form. So at most, he's a depth piece. Yeah, so there's not really competition in that position, but I do also think the versatility that him and Foden have is key to why this is working. A lot of teams struggle because they have to shove players into a squad out of position. These guys, I mean, a lot of our team can just play wherever they're put, and it doesn't harm our play in any way. So I think that's the huge part, is that we could just fit everyone to the team. And Reinders, with these injuries and Cherky and Foden playing the width, this is his moment to shine. And he looks like he's taking it. He's feeding in great passes. He's getting the goals finally. And I think the main thing is the off-ball stuff. But I think he's starting to get it. And I think Pep's understanding that he needs to be a little more of an attacking outlet. And that's why Bernardo's doing this, like sitting back with the Nico G type thing.
It's intelligent attackers, like you said. Like they don't have to be put in one specific position the way you guys are playing right now. They're intelligent enough. They've bought in enough to the point where they know where they need to be. They can interchange and really just make shit happen. And that's what makes it so fun to watch. It's just,
and I think that's what really makes it like free flowing. Is the fact that it's kind of positionless. Like, yes, of course, there's positions and tactics when it comes to Pep, but how many of these guys are technically playing out of position and still looking fantastic? I think all of them, for the most part, outside of the center backs in Holland and goalkeeper, everyone's out of position. Like, not a single player is playing their position, and we look this fucking good. Obviously, a lot of it, 70% of it is just the tactics and what Pep has drilled into them and how to play, the tempo, all that crap. But like I said earlier, that joy, that connection that we have as a team right now, and you can tell on the pitch, it's there. These guys love playing together. They understand each other, and they're having fun with it. And I think that's what should scare rival teams more than anything, is that, no, we're not just following a plan and getting it done, but we're fucking playing Premier League teams, and 9 out of 11 of our guys are smiling the entire time. Holland's missing a header that he should have scored, and he's laughing it off because he knows he's going to get another goal because he's averaging a fucking brace on the day. Yeah, that was one of the main things I wanted to talk about in this. And then the second thing is the consistency as of like the 14 games. I think it's been 5 games, because 5 games ago we were talking about my team conceding 10 goals in 4 games. Terrible. The second we had that conversation on the pod, it fucking flipped. The switch flipped. We conceded 1 goal in the past 5 games.
Yeah.
Rodrigo, who hadn't scored in months. I mean, and I told you guys he'd score, but that's how good they've been lately. That's like how locked in the defense has been. We went from conceding 8 goals in the second half of 2 games to conceding 1 goal in 5 games. And I think we're rolling through teams right now. The defense looks locked in. It looks like everyone's going to fucking brick fall, dolphin dive in front of a shot before even letting Donnarumma get a chance to make the save. And if he needs to make the save, he'll make a double save like he did against West Ham. I'm very happy right now. And this is probably the happiest I've been with the squad in 2.5 years. It's fallen off a little bit. The joy left a little bit. Those old guys just got a little complacent, but these guys have the fire back. And I think that's the most important part.
I think it's funny. I think in the beginning of the season, I was pointing out how I thought the City's defense was really good and they hadn't been conceding goals. And I was like more on the idea of like, yeah, I think City's been great. Now I think I'm on the opposite side where I need a bigger sample size just because of the teams that have been played, and also like watching back the game.
That's
like
they haven't been
West Ham had fucking chances. Not like they didn't have chances.
They do, but then like that's kind of what I'm saying. Like this, they're gonna be chances, but then you have to beat Donnarumma.
Yeah, but like eventually
if the ball happens, of course.
So
And
that's why I need
the sample size of this season. Most of them are just fucking whoppers.
Yeah,
he doesn't really get beat easily much, and the team is not giving up those easy chances. Like, yes, occasionally there's a mistake, but I think they're making up for the mistakes. They're not letting the shot come off, and we've had a couple that hit the post. So there's a little luck involved, but we weren't getting that luck before, so the tides have changed a bit.
I think part of playing the free-flowing style that's the difference. Like, this is the difference between Arsenal and Man City. Like, I don't see teams realistically getting a ton of chances against Arsenal just because that's the way they play. They try not to lose matches. So they're defensively always more solidified, right? Like, they are openly okay with just not having attacking output unless it's just like this swarming kind of like compression.
Maintain the defensive shape, yeah.
Right. But City, they are going for matches, so that right. That's why Bowen had like 4 opportunities on the counter. Like, that's gonna happen. That's why you guys brought in Donnarumma. Like, it's gonna look like
he did have those chances, but then I'm like, you see Nico O'Reilly and fucking Mateus Nunes going full speed recovery, like in making those tackles. Like, they're gonna have chances. I think that's why that we brought in Donnarumma exactly. He's allow that to happen. If you give him the one-on-one. I'm giving him a little more than a 50% chance to make that save, which is absurd, but he's that good.
I think if City end up doing what we all kind of, at least what I see them doing at the end of this whole thing, like if we look back at this in, May, June, like he's probably the signing of the summer. And it comes down strictly to the idea that if it was Trafford or City in second right now, if it's Trafford.
Ooh, yeah, probably.
I don't know. Look, they've been really good over this stretch where you guys are just pummeling team offensively, right? Yeah. But like there was periods there where like he was on his head, and like it was just Haaland and Donnarumma.
That's true.
So like that's maybe I'm just like.
It's hard to say. It's hard to speculate because I do think Trafford is the type of player that if given that opportunity, he would have seized it. And we probably would have been talking, I don't know about best in the world, but talking a lot about him this season because he is that good of a shot stopper. And that's kind of what we needed. But a lot of his issues were the passing things earlier. It wasn't shot stopping. He was still probably one of the best shot stoppers in the league when he was playing. Donna came in, and that was the question, is he going to be much better with these issues? And he has been. He's been fucking phenomenal. He's been dribbling past guys. I watched him go to the 30-yard line yesterday.
Yeah.
The fuck was going on there? I was so excited. I was like, what is going on?
I guess that's the difference of playing from like PSG and playing for like a world champion and being at the top of the sport for so long and coming up from Burnley, right? Like there is certain
They're not
levels
world
that are like
champions.
that. European champions, sorry. Not world champions.
Of course.
He is a European champion multiple times. Good for him. Now that I'm thinking about it. Intercontinental champions?
Yeah, that's right. Champions of what?
Yeah. I think I spewed out all my happy feelings on this, or at least the things that I feel that other people aren't really talking about as much.
Yeah.
Those were the two main ones.
That's the biggest conversation that we have had since, like, I don't know, match week 5 that wasn't like Holland good, Foden good, Donnarumma good.
But I guess another thing we could just quickly touch on is that if Donna's not our signing of the summer, it's probably Cherky. It's got to be one of those two.
Oh yeah,
the sample size is just much larger for Donnarumma. Cherky had the injury and he's definitely the X
games,
factor.
But look at what he's doing
definitely
in
the
the
X
last
factor.
games. He's leading the league in assists.
Look, we called it early. Like he was going to be the reason, if there was a reason for City getting back into form and being in a title race, was Cherky, and people just didn't like him because they thought he was fat and apparently a super angry individual who didn't like his teammates. I don't know where that came from. I still don't know where that came from.
I needed to see. He got the Hazard cosign. That was enough for me.
From what I've heard, it's just he's always been better than everyone he's played against. So maybe that came off as a bit cocky, but from everything I've seen, he's cut the weight. Regardless of someone, either Pep said you have to cut it or like he just chose to. He cut the weight. He's running his ass off every game. He is friendly with literally everyone on the team. And he's an entertainer. So anything that they said about him, whether that was just to bring down his price or try to keep him at the club longer, I don't know. I don't care. I'm very happy with what we got.
Fuck, dude. I said it with United. I was like, just go bring that guy in January. No, they don't listen to me. You know what? That means that I should be the sporting director of Manchester United.
No, honestly, old
our sporting director
should probably be your guys' sporting director. He'd probably get shit done.
No, he
he would have you guys in a very different, not even as a coach, if he was in the front office.
I'd rather have be our sporting director, dude.
Like you.
I'd rather have Grok be our sporting director.
Hey, Grok, can you pull it up? All right. Anything else on City? Or are we good to go to the other Manchester club?
Play Nottingham.
Ew. It'll be gross. I just feel like that's going to be a gross game.
It is. It's probably going to be like a 1-0 game.
Yeah, that's going to be ugly.
Like Diaz goal.
Yeah, that's a Dyche masterclass if it's 1-0. Alrighty. How do we want to do this? I did my 5 things on United, but that could have been like 15 things because there's just always so much fucking crap.
I didn't really
United
deeply watch this game, but
yeah. You know what? Before I fire back on whatever Grant's gonna say, I'll let you kind of explain what you thought of the match, and then
I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll go from there. I don't know. I'm just assuming I'll have something to disagree with, but
definitely. Yeah, no, I think we're on the same page. Like, out of the two teams, I think you were better on the day. I think where we differed on that perspective was I don't think you guys were particularly amazing, but I just don't think Villa were very good either. It was individual quality there from Morgan Rogers on 2 separate occasions. But yeah, I think your guys' high press was really successful for a majority of the game. Villa seemed to have trouble getting out of their own half, and they're very comfortable always playing in their own corner almost, with the fullback and center back, one of the midfielders coming to show. They had a few moments, but again, when that press was bypassed, like the Rodgers goal in the first one, it was a ball that almost goes out of bounds. He's able to recover it, and then he's just able to run into space. Yoro doesn't close it down, and a player of his level, they're gonna. I mean, it's a beautiful shot, but you feel like more often than not, he's going to be able to put that away. It's the same stuff we've been talking about. United's wingbacks or wingers. When you lose the ball in those sort of situations, you're in trouble. And that individual quality, it'll shine bright against you just as much as it will in your own attack. Because I think United do have that quality in attack. I know Cunha had some missed opportunities today, but overall, I think the performance, like, you can take a lot more away from it. And like you touched on earlier, he's going to have to play a big part now in the near future in this next run of games for you guys. But yeah, I would just have this, if I were a United fan trying to put myself in the shoes after watching that performance, just this emptiness of fuck, like we didn't even get beat like that. We keep beating ourselves. Like, it's the same thing I say with the Chelsea goals that we concede. It's like you're the makers of your own falling apart. I don't fucking know. I'm losing my words here, but you continue to create your own mistakes and misfortune. At what point can you attribute that to something?
Yeah, no, I actually mostly agree. Yeah. The only thing that, like you said, that we disagreed on is I actually thought we outplayed them for 80 minutes. Or you could even stretch it to 85. Morgan Rogers had 2 moments of brilliance against a player that's so out of form that can't find a way out of the squad because we have no subs. Euro has to play. And also, I don't like the argument that, like, because he's playing right back, like, he's a fucking freak talent who plays like right center back, left center back, in, like, I just don't like the argument that he's playing bad because he's quote unquote out of position. That's just not true.
No.
Like, he should have been better in both situations. He just clicked off. And that's just a sign of someone who's struggling with form, right? Is when you're not bought into a game completely, and United genuinely just cannot give him a rest, give him a chance to, like, step away from the pitch for 2 games, look at film, watch it develop, like. And also, just to be honest with you, like, having Heaven next to him is not helpful. Like, De Ligt shores up a lot of those mental errors because he's just such a high talent player, even Maguire. And so that's why I'm, like, super up and down on this performance, just because, like, we should have won. And that's, I've said that about, like, maybe 5 United games so far this season. And this is the first one where I don't think Amorim deserves any blame. And we talked about in the last episode about this portion of games without Mbumo and Ahmed and Casemiro. This is where I'm going to know really if Amorim's got the chops. No, and this is why. Because if he can prove to me that in these matches he can at least give them a chance to win games, I can get behind that.
Yeah, no, of course. Like, in that sense, if he does make something of what he has here, then I don't think there's any argument to anyone that he's a fantastic manager, not just a good manager. Bro, look what he has. If he can get,
no, I wouldn't say fantastic, but I do agree. This, you can't judge him as harshly because of the circumstances. But like we're saying, in terms of him being able to show his chops, this is the circumstance.
The best players are out.
Yeah, no.
His 3
I agree.
Three best players are out.
You guys know my stance on Amorim, no doubt. I agree, Mila. Today,
he's the
last guy I'm looking at. He's the last guy I'm pointing at because you look at the players available. It's
that's just what I'm saying. Is just like, if he can pull something off without having his 3 best players, and on top of that, like, we just went and broke it down that he has nothing to work with already, and he's lost those guys. Those guys were carrying
even
the trash.
Worse.
Yeah, and now the trash is just there. It's rotting. It's sitting there at the pitch in Old Trafford, and it's just going to sit there, and no one's going to move it. Like, in that sense, like, I can't blame him if he fails, because he was already working with nothing, in my opinion. So to now have less than nothing, which is fucking really hard to do.
It's like a story I've just saw at my own club. Like, who is to blame for a manager who's inexperienced and has a lack of quality at his disposal? The people that hired the manager and brought in this squad, because we always go back, like, the Ragnick quotes, we need open heart surgery. They did open heart surgery. This is a whole new squad, and we still have the same problems. So yeah, you need to blame the people that are making the squad. You can't blame the manager for these types of problems. So again, regardless of my grievances and a lot of people's grievances with the manager, the current situation yeah, I can't really blame him for too much of what's going on in this short term.
Mhm.
He has nothing to work with. And again, when you go to a back three and you commit to a back three, your personnel changes a lot as well.
Yeah.
Guys like Cunha, Mount, like those are very clearly inside players. Those are not wingers. So now they are built to play this system, and guys are hurt. Guys are on international duty. I have nothing. He holds no blame for today.
Yeah, it's just a very tough situation for the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Oh God, it could be more.
At least.
I mean,
Could be more. I mean, yeah.
the one thing that I think he's gotten more stick over that I just don't agree with is his ability to be flexible. And today United played in a 3-back, they played in a 4-back. They've done it all throughout the season with the 4-4-2 press. Today it was a 4-1-4-1. They are trying things, and he is trying things, and some of it's working, some of it's not. But I just feel like there's this heightened pressure on a manager that, like Mila said, has nothing to work with. And that's a good segue into United lose Bruno for a month, right? We just did this. We did this last episode with the idea of like United don't have fucking guys. How the hell are they going to survive AFCON? Well, how are they going to survive? Yeah,
How
so
are they going to survive themselves?
yeah.
Okay.
What's the?
I think if you want to be positive, the first thing that you have to talk about is that this could be very beneficial for Amarim's relationship with the youth squad.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
he's gonna,
It's huge.
Well,
the
I don't know.
Fletcher debut today was awesome.
He's an attacking mid.
I know, but just
Should it be playing?
it's just Darren Fletcher's son playing. It's just cool
Yeah.
to see.
Fuck.
But yeah, you
Let's-
guys are screwed,
let's
and you're
move.
gonna have
Let's
to probably
move.
bring up some guys. I
The
don't.
Mainu stuff being as potent as it is and the timing of it is awful. I don't really know what it is. It honestly sounds like a load of shit, and it sounds like he is being punished by
injury?
somebody. It sounds like he's
Oh.
being punished for his brother doing the thing. And to be fair, like honestly, he fucking should be. Right? Like you can't make statements like that. And I don't know why he would. This is the one period where he was gonna fucking play. To have that level of incompetencies from your family to do something like that is so bad.
That was the same game.
It's
He
so
didn't know he was
bad.
gonna get that chance.
I hope that it's just
Which again
an
is
injury.
still bad. Like that, you shouldn't be complaining like that.
Do you have any timetables, Dylan, on Maguire and Delict's return?
Nope.
Is that still up in
Nope.
the air? Because I think something that was you were talking about it in the text chat like it was a crazy conspiracy theory or something far stretched. Lissandro Martinez looked fantastic in the
did.
double pivot for the entire second half. I mean,
I'm throwing this guy in
Ugarte-
fucking Narnia.
like Ugarte's reputation is so fried, and he somehow still happens to prove everybody right game in, game out every time he gets his chance. Obviously, mentally, I'm sure he's not in the best place when it comes to his performances, but yeah, it was awful from him today. Martinez, a guy who still I don't even think has started a game yet since returning, looked very comfortable out of position for a half. In the short term, I think that's definitely how you're going to have to set up. He looked very composed on the ball, similar to what Reece James does in a lot of pivot players, dropping into that back line, being able to play there. He's going to be crucial in this short period, along with Cunha. Cunha is going to have to take that onus, kind of how we were talking in the Chelsea segment with Joao Pedro last week, where it's like, you need to step up. I know this isn't necessarily what you were expecting, but now is the time. Like, we're putting all of our hopes and dreams in the forward line on you. I thought Dorgu was better today as well.
He was.
He did look good.
He should have had 2 assists.
Yeah.
I thought Mount had a pretty good ball to Shesko too. It was just unfortunate.
Mount has been so good for such a long period of time. It's kind of refreshing just to see the talent of what Mason Mount is actually be on display and him be healthy enough to be like, wow, Mason Mount is a true player, but it's just United and they've been so toxic.
I want to say that that chance, I think I saw it a couple times. They didn't necessarily go for it, but it was definitely open a couple times throughout the game. It should come with just more playing time together. Mount and Sesko probably have less than 200 minutes together.
Sesko, I think, is that was his first start since the injury.
I know, but like combined together, they
probably
have no time together played.
Yeah.
Once they have a little more understanding, that's the type of goal that Sesko I think is going to thrive off of. It's just a long frame where he could just not even have to really beat the run, but just extend a leg out from behind the defender because Mount's ball beat the defender. on the specific play that I'm talking about, and it kind of was just a little too far for C.O.C, but he also initiated the action a little too late. Yeah, so it's like that's the type of goal that you're going to want him to score, and it's good that the team is now finding that more often, those types of plays where you could just make something, and not necessarily out of nothing, but a half chance.
Yeah, and that bench is so good too. I mean, I'm just looking at it like Xerxes linked to this Roma move as well. I don't know if you guys can even afford to let him leave at this point. And like Mila said at the very beginning, we're going to see a lot of debuts. Like it looks like we're going to see a lot of debuts. I mean, Malacia is still hanging out on the bench. Good for him. He made his way back to the bench, still getting paid. Good on him. But yeah, there are very little options.
It was Diego Leon.
I can't believe that.
Diego Leon is a left back they signed last summer or last winter, and he came in and he's just been kind of there. He's not going to play.
U21s and shit.
Okay, so the one thing that this does do for United is it slots them into what they were doing really well in the beginning of the year, which is playing off the ball and then playing long and winning second balls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm trying to think of what this looks like in a four back, right? And right, like this is Jesus. It's just tough.
I mean, no, I think it had a natural shape. I mean, like Dorgu left wing, Mount right wing, Cunha at the 10, Casemiro, Licha pivot, Dallo, Shaw fullbacks, Heaven, Euro center backs. Like you can transition into that shape.
Well, the issue is now Casemiro is not an 8, right? So what they've been doing is they've been pushing Bruno into this position, and they've been playing something kind of like this, right? Where then somebody drops in, and it's like 2 8s.
Yeah.
So this is what they've
Hobby
been.
and Licha maybe.
Right, but Kabi apparently is out multiple weeks as well. So he's
multiple weeks. Fucking
that's what his was said. So I don't even fucking know.
I'd rather have Martinez further forward. Isn't that crazy?
I think the only way for United to really make this work is they've got to play like this.
3-2-5.
Yep, and oh my gosh. You've got to win second balls. You got to win on the counter. This guy has to be so crucial to everything that United do. This is so similar to what he was doing at Wolves last year, where he brought them up.
Ball.
Look, he did it, and United are going to have to rely on him for about at least a month here of him doing hero ball shit and him performing to the highest level. Like I said, 11 out of 10s to really get them through it. The only thing that can save United, right? And I'm going to go on a little, I guess, soliloquy here, because I think it's honestly, it's so similar. And I had to do some research into it just before we jumped on the pod. So Manchester City last season, match week 17, guess who they played? They played Aston Villa. Guess the scoreline. 2-1.
2-1.
Guess the position of City.
Wherever you guys are.
7th, correct. Guess how many points?
Same.
They had 27. We have 26. But my point here is, what did City go and do? What did their sporting directors go and do? They spent 180 million in a winter window
on guys that didn't play any footy.
But what was the one position of need that they needed because of Rodri? A massive injury to a midfielder.
The guy that didn't play any minutes.
But
okay. They built for the next season. They scrapped.
Yeah, there you go. You're getting at my point. Yeah, you're getting at my point.
If I'm done being a jackass, then yes, they scrapped the season. They built for the next season. I don't know. I think we thought we'd have Rodri back by now. It's a little different. But might be the same with Bruno.
What it did was it allowed for Nico G to get comfortable in the side. He got a full year. Like at this point, like could you compare it to if like he could come in the summer? Like how far off would he be currently? Pretty far off. So United need to make a move. Like, look, I know they're full court pressing Semenyo, and I think they almost have to do it at this point, just because even if it doesn't fit in the long-term thing of this season, getting a guy like Semenyo right now is so important to where United can be going forward that you have to spend the money. You have to try to compete with City. And if you can potentially sell him on United's project, which I don't even know how they would do, like it's almost a necessity. And if you don't get him, like,
yeah, maybe. Well, I
think
guess
if
he
it
would help
comes
a
down
lot. He
to
would
it,
help a lot because of his versatility.
if you guys have
in the front
financial
line.
restrictions, which it sounds like you still are tight, I think if you have to pick between a midfielder and attacker, it has to be a midfielder. But if you can afford to go after both, and if you're a little more flush with cash in January, yeah, go for Semenyo. But if that gets in the way of you addressing your more pertinent needs in the squad, I would advise against it.
Well,
But
it's not that much cash for Semenyo.
65 million.
65.
It's only
It's
euros or pounds?
I don't know,
That
but
won't affect anything either way. I just want to
look,
know.
if United signs Semenyo in January, then they have zero reason to spend money on attackers in the summer. They won't need to. They won't need
So
to.
then you can prioritize.
What are
Yeah,
you
you're checking
buying in the
boxes.
summer though? What would you buy?
Midfielders.
No.
All
If
of the
you didn't get an
midfielders.
attacker, like why do you need to go get a Semenyo right now?
Why do they need a Semenyo?
I think the Semenyo fills the hole that is Mbuemo and being out right now, and maybe the striker hole for a little bit as C.O.C gets affiliated with the squad. But if you're scrapping the season anyways, just let C.O.C get out there and fucking learn the league.
Because the backup to C.O.C is Joshua Zirkzee.
That's
and the
fair.
backup,
I get he covers.
Ahmed,
yeah,
and the backup to Ahmed.
I think you're
Jalen.
making an issue for yourself later in the future because you just probably promised Cunha a lot. You probably promised Mbuemo a lot, and then Semenyo is going to take minutes from one of these guys. And Mount's starting to play well. Like Semenyo in this system has to take one of their minutes. So that's the only reason I think it's a little silly for United to go after him at this particular time. Especially when there's a gaping hole in the middle of the field.
They can't go get. That's the issues. They can't go get their solution.
I heard Gallagher was available on loan.
Yeah, so there's your solution: is either Ruben Neves or Gallagher for the January window, and I think that's more.
That's fair.
That's really the
at
issue.
That point, are you just spending to spend?
Are you though?
No, I agree with you. I just think in terms of building for the future, why go get another attacker?
Because it's
unless it's a striker that like better than like a certified attacker that isn't C.O.C. That is
Cunha. Cunha becomes your 9 in that sense, and then it's Semenyo, Cunha, and Mbumo. C.O.C. and Ahmed is options.
AFCON also though. If they
in 2 years, I could give two shits in 2 years. Like that's way too far away for me to even think about it.
You must. It will happen.
Like if you're trying to salvage something this season, I think the Semenyo signing makes a lot of sense. And if you are building for the future, then I would use the money elsewhere. Is kind of what I'm getting at. Not that it's stupid to go get Semenyo. He's a great player, like we've all been saying, but I wouldn't put the money there if I was United because you need to put a lot of money into a certain position that is much more expensive. Needed.
Well, yes. I think if they spend it now and they spend the 65 for Semenyo now, then they don't need to go spend in the summer on an attacker. It's no longer in the budget, right? If the budget is 250 million in the summer and they spend 65 of it now on Semenyo because they were going to go for him in the summer anyways, then you have 200 to work with in the summer on a midfielder. It's just fast tracking where you're spending the money in the fiscal year. And Semenyo is a good enough player right now where he solves issues for United now and in the future. Because if you start to figure out this season, you're getting European competitions next season. United can't walk into a European competition, even if it's Conference League next year, and have their bench options as Shea Lacey, Joshua Zirkzee, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like they have to. And no. I think he's got to be close to that
obligation.
He's got to be close.
Or is his contract expiring?
His expires. They're just gonna send him home. Fuck him.
Yeah.
So that's my idea on Semenyo. It's like you have to spend the money if it's possible. If he wants to come in, if he wants to be a United player, you have to spend the money in January because they're not getting a midfielder. I've come to terms with that. They're not getting Baleba. They're not getting Wharton. They're not getting Anderson in this January window. It's not happening. So do you spend Semenyo now? Can you get Neves? I don't know.
I'm usually so against it, but I'm almost in the camp of in the midfield sake, like just to get another body in there because Ugarte is almost unplayable, right? Mainu has an injury now. Bruno's a tweak. Casemiro's aging. Like just to at least get a body in there. I don't think Ruben Neves solves everything. He's not an athlete by any stretch, but he is quality on the ball.
So much money.
I think it would be a loan or something, but to get another body in there, as much as I'm
Yeah.
making fun of Gallagher, like I think at least to just have another body in there that's somewhat serviceable will be beneficial. But like you said, Dylan, that option that checks a lot of boxes in the midfield will not be
It's
available
not
in
there.
January. So I get it.
Look, unless they do what City did and they just say fuck it, like we need to rebuild and we're gonna spend the money because we can right now, and they go and they get Baleba, they just say, hey, look, like Brighton, we need this guy so bad. We're gonna spend the premium on him in January and we'll make it happen. Sure. I just
Personally,
don't see that happen.
yeah, no, I get that you don't think it's gonna happen, but if they were going to do that and using like the City analogy, if you're gonna get a guy to mold with the team, I think that Semenyo type of player is more of a drop-in player. You just drop him in and he'll be fine. Whereas if you guys were to get the Wharton, the Anderson, like yes, they're very talented, but that's the type of player that you probably want to give the extra 6 months to before you unleash him onto the Premier League with this new squad next year. So in terms of building, like that core guy is way more important than this solid attacker that can do it already and that doesn't really need to assimilate with the rest of the squad.
Yeah, look, if it was me as the sporting director and it's not my money, I'm fucking dishing it out on both.
That's what I just don't get. Like, what if you're saying like, oh, let's use the money earlier? Like, just use the money earlier on the midfielder. Those guys are going to cost a ridiculous amount of money now, and then they are in 6 months. If anything, their price might go up. Elliot Anderson's price is going up. Wharton's price is going up. Baleba
After a World Cup,
running out of talent right now. If he doesn't like play good and doesn't give a shit at the training, he's just going to diminish his future talent.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Look, I am fully for United doing exactly what City did, spending 180 in this window. And then, you know what? If you got to sell assets in the summer, if that's what it comes to when you have to do it, sure, do it then. But if you can address needs now, you should do it. And United are at such a deficit. We just went through the list of fucking players they don't have. They've got to spend the money at some point. I am totally for them doing it all right now. It's just the reporting and everything that I've seen. It sounds like they're going for Semenyo and maybe a Neves or a Gallagher.
Semenyo is going to be one of your teams. That's what it's looking like.
I just I hope you guys have a second option. I know we do. I don't know who it is. It's been pretty quiet on that front, but there's definitely a second option. I could just totally see United putting all their eggs in Semenyo and then him just choosing City at the last second, them getting nobody. Well, whereas like if he does that with us and he goes to you guys, I know that we're going to go get someone.
I think that deal's supposed to get done pretty early in the window.
That's the one nice thing about the Semenyo thing is I hope that they have a backup plan already. I hope they're not spilling the cards just like City aren't, but we will know that by January 1st.
Yeah.
We will know where he's going by January 1st.
I think he'll be gone by like the 6th.
The first 10 days is the clause being active. I think he'll be gone before that.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's wrap this episode up with a United versus Newcastle preview. We're gonna have We Are Soccer on to talk about Aston Villa and their side of that match, and honestly, just their incredible run. It's 10 in a row. We'll have Craig, who's a giant Aston Villa fan. I think his whole family are Aston Villa fans. So we'll have him on and we'll have him talk about that, and we'll preview the Chelsea game a little later on in this week. But like we did last episode, we're going to preview a Newcastle game. They play United, a very shorthanded United, on Boxing Day. The only Boxing Day match, which is super, super lame. I want to make that clear. That is some woke crap. You're right.
The worst team that an injured team can go and play against.
Yeah, it is. Gosh, I have the tactics board.
Playing young guys, young timid guys that are gonna.
I mean, Garnacho made Miley look like a top class right back. To be fair, Miley put in a shift at right back against us. Fucking hell.
Jeez.
I'm gonna put up the tactics board for this just so you guys can see the lineup and what it looks like. It's pretty fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie in terms of
you guys.
Just both teams kind of up against each other. If the Newcastle lineup's not correct,
just the comparison of their players.
Yeah. Where's the setup for this one? Here it is. Yeah, there we go.
Why are they 4-4-2? I'm scared.
It's just what they set it up on the JLA tactics board. But
Joe Linton hasn't been playing.
Yeah, it's just when I click on Newcastle. Was this
just throw
is
Gordon
this
in.
kind of
Ramsey
what it
played.
looked like in the game?
It was a 4-3-3. Tonali
Was it like
sat.
that?
Guimaraes,
Is Ramsey?
And then who you said it was?
And then it was Murphy on the right, Gordon on the left, Voltamata through the middle. Oh, yeah, Ramsey and Guimaraes were 8s. It was more of a 3-man midfield.
It was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So that I want to start with Newcastle because I saw a tweet about it and I wish I could give the person credit, but for a midfield that's that good, I constantly watch them lose the midfield battle like week after week at this point. Like
I think it's the change of the league has caught up to them because I think last year they looked miles ahead of everyone's midfield outside of Liverpool's, who was matching what they were doing in terms of physicality and speed, and just aggression overall. But now that the rest of the league is doing that and is matching that physicality and that aggression, they've kind of been minimized. And now you have to look at their technical ability. And yeah, they're all pretty good on the ball, but they're nothing super special at the end of the day. So when they go up against, I think, decent competition that is ready to match that tempo, they just don't look as good.
Hall's been very good, by the way. I will get my Lewis Hall propaganda in there. He has been
good.
Pretty big for them. Miley again looked
props
good at
to their
right back.
defense for just surviving. They have so many injuries back there. And people have just been stepping up.
Yeah, Botman always seems to be hurt. The Newcastle goalkeeping situation is pretty funny. I thought I'd mention that. Like Pope and Ramsdale both just kind of having very different flaws, but yet still being like not the complete package. It's kind of comical.
Ramsdale's flaw on the Reece James goal, which was an amazing free kick, but like his short arm T-Rex thing coming kind of into play there.
And then I think the drop too. I think he could have done a little better there in terms of making himself bigger, getting out there earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it was a one-on-one situation, but you're right. It's a Ramsdale dilemma. Grant, I'm gonna throw it back to you. Obviously, we know kind of how United will win this one, or how they will have to win this one. But how does Newcastle win this match?
I mean, what I will say, if United come playing the same way they tried to play Villa, man-to-man pressing, it might be the perfect game for Elanga. He has been struggling this year, and I think because he's not playing that counter-attacking system, if they're able to manufacture those sort of situations, I think he can have a big impact. Gordon's starting to look a little better. Harvey Barnes off the bench is always really dangerous. I think those transition situations, again, where United have their wing backs really high, they need to be able to win those balls and immediately get it going forward. I mean, we know how direct Jacob Murphy is too, so you probably do end up seeing him start. But maybe against tired legs, especially when it turns into a basketball game, Elanga might have a say at the end. Obviously, whoever's up top, whether it's Voltamata or Wissa, they need to finish their chances. But yeah, I really think it comes down to how quickly Newcastle go from winning the ball to attacking. If they can transition quickly, they can give United problems.
Yeah. Mila, you think anything different for Newcastle, or you think that's the recipe to success?
No, I think that's pretty spot on. I'm more worried about how you guys are going to set up, but I guess you kind of talked about it. But
I can throw the tactics board back up there if you want to.
No,
God. Yeah, you know how United win this match? Fucking park the fucking bus.
Yeah, literally everyone back.
This is what you do. You say fucking Newcastle beat us in open play. We know you can't. We're doing this, and then we're just fucking hoofballing.
And then you let
you guys are at home,
in
right?
the middle, and Cunha and Jesco all running. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be no. I don't really have anything else to add, but it is gonna be I don't know. You guys need to make it a disgusting game if you want to get anything out of it, because just based off their ability versus your ability right now, they have a very big advantage. It's just tough. Like that, that we just talked about, like the league kind of has matched that tempo now, but you don't have the players to match that tempo due to injuries. And because even Bruno out of position, he's still matching the tempo of the Premier League midfield right now. But now it's an old Casemiro and a guy returning from a knee injury. This seems like the game that he gets a red card in if he's playing in the middle of the park. Just saying. So watch out for that. I don't know how to talk about this much more because you guys just don't have anything. Like I can't even try to cook something up. There's nothing to cook with.
And you're at home. The onus will be on them to play, which is why I think Newcastle will be able to take advantage of transitions. Right? Everyone talks about United not being as comfortable with the ball, playing with the ball, and at home, Newcastle will definitely sit back. They play very different when they're not at home. So, yeah, I think it'll just turn into sort of transitions, and maybe Sesko does start up top, being able to cross balls in. Dan Burn not being in there to stick his big head in.
They don't like to do that. I don't know.
Oh, I know. It's a weird one. It's very, very tough.
I don't know why they don't just put it in the mixer. Like the guy's fucking 6'5". Just throw it up. It's just like a center in basketball. Like just chuck it up. Like he should be able to get a dunk every once in a while. You guys nailed it for the United points. Like you got to play hoofball. You got to make the game dirty. You have to match them physically, which honestly, like, if anything, like maybe United can do that a little bit.
On paper, like in my head, that makes Casemiro, Martinez. Who else is going to match them physically? Out of all the players you have, that's probably the best to get it done. Just in terms of age and situation, like we just talked about, it's really unfortunate.
Yeah,
because if both of these guys were fit and healthy and 28 years old, or I guess Casemiro 28, this would be a great matchup in terms of that physicality and aggression. But it's just going to be so tough.
Mount will get stuck in.
All of us wrong. Yeah, they'll get stuck in. But hopefully he doesn't get too stuck in because he's on my fantasy team, and I need him to stay fit.
Hey, Bruno's on my fantasy team. I'm fried.
Yeah, it's cooked. It's cooked. All right. Well, let's do our predictions. Grant, you can go first. Mila can go after that, and then I will round it off as a United fan.
2-1 Newcastle.
Worked last time.
1-1.
1-1. Oh man, I'd be ecstatic. I'd be ecstatic. 4-3 United. Hell yeah.
It's crazy. I love it.
4 attacking goals. Okay, we'll do our predicky for the Chelsea Villa game in that next video. So we'll just do the City one. City play Forest is what you said. Mila, are you 4:30 a.m.?
Yeah.
I will not be watching.
No.
Where's it at?
Dude, why do I never know this? I'm really bad.
I'm guessing it's at Forest.
It's City ground.
Why do you guys always that tweet has never been more right ever? Like City just randomly go on a run of 14 games where they're always playing at home.
No, it's at the City it's at Nottingham.
Oh, sorry.
Not
I thought you were
Etihad.
my bad. They're playing at okay, my bad.
I see the confusion.
What you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know I said that smells like 1-0, but just knowing my luck, Sangare is going to score because we just like him, and he's going to bring me pain because of that affection towards him. So I'll go 3-1 City.
3-1 City. Okay, so
I had a 2-0. 2-0 City for me.
Yeah, I was going to say. So Forest in their last, I think it's 6 games here.
Dyche doing wonders over there.
Lost to Brighton 2-0, beat Wolves 1-0, lost to Everton 3-0, beat Spurs 3-0. You have to go with the grain of just the bounce, up and down, which means that City's going to beat them 3-0. 3-0?
3-0, Dylan.
3-0?
You're going 3-0?
3-0 City.
Dude, they're gonna score that third in like the 96th minute, and I'm gonna be so angry. It's gonna ruin my holidays.
Depend on the predicky. All right. Well, I'm good to wrap it up.
I lied about Sangare.
He's out.
He's in international duty. I
Oh,
forgot.
yeah, he's
3-0.
3-0.
So you guys are going 3-0. I went 2-0. All right.
Yeah.
Can't wait for you.
I have
assholes
to
get
change
another
mine now.
prediction.
I have to change mine now because
I
Mila's ahead.
purely was
He's-
just picking one goal because of Sangare. Like
I know,
he's
but
not
you're
playing,
ahead.
I
You're
think we're
ahead in
gonna-
the predickies, so I can't
think
be
we're
the
gonna-
same
oh,
as
you
you because
do.
if our predickies
But
were
I
the
can't
same,
steal yours. 4-0.
No. Oh shit! Damn it, that's what I was about to do. Fuck! I'm gonna be so mad if it goes 4-0.
It'll be 2. Don't worry, boys. Nah, Villa. No. Forest are gonna score like 20 seconds in on some dumb fucking goal, and then we're just all gonna be furious.
Bark.
Like,
Yeah, we're all gonna be
Bark,
furious.
bark.
All right, good to end it.
yeah.
Talk
Alright.
again tomorrow.
I have
Hour
to be
15
fair
for the
here.
short video.
Yeah, hour 15. God, we're so good at what we do. Cool. Well, this has been Clash of Clubs, episode 77. That's Grant. That's Mila. They're both above me. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Two words for him. Different gravy. Glorious goal! Wreathed in red. We're really seeing the most extraordinary finish here. On this day of days, has he delivered? Just magnificent! Potentially life-changing! That's football. Minute you let it under your skin, then you begin to make it better.